Welcome to Addicted to Quitting, the podcast where we dive deep into the art of breaking free from bad habits by becoming addicted to the benefits of quitting those habits that no longer serve us. I am your host, Gentry, a divorced mom to 4 boys. I am a certified public accountant, a certified life and recovery coach, and I have been sober since May 1st of 2018. Join me today as we explore the power of becoming addicted to quitting and unlocking your true potential by exploring the 5 books that I read when I got sober and how they impacted my life. So it is time to level up in life, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. This is Addicted to Quitting, the podcast that empowers you to break free, embrace change, and thrive. Let's get started on this transformative journey together. I am really excited about this topic today because I love helping people in those early stages of recovery, because I'm almost 6 years into this, you guys, and I had a bump in the road about 2 years in, which I can talk about in a whole nother podcast episode, and the conflict we have with that, with the AA world and with my world of not restarting my clock. Anyways, we're not getting into the restarting the clock conversation today, but I have been working in sobriety for almost 6 years, and I sometimes forget how difficult it is at the very beginning of it. And I was thinking about the 5 books that really helped me at the very beginning. So these books are great whether you're in early sobriety or not, but I just wanted to mention that these are the books that I listened to, because I think that the way that they were laid out just really helped me on that new me I was trying to become, right? Like, to remove alcohol from my life, I was having to shed a really heavy old version of myself that had just gotten really, really comfortable being. And that was really, really hard. So these books, and I'm going to explain kind of what it was about these books that helped me in that transformation period and continue to help me in that transformation period. I've gone back and read these books or listened to them. I'm an Audible person, but I've gone back and listened to them multiple times just to kind of reaffirm some of these things. So if you are ready, these are the 5 books that were extremely powerful for me in my sobriety and leveling up my life when I got sober. Number 1, Quit Like a Woman by Holly Whitaker. You guys know I love when quit kind of becomes a positive thing. I have Addicted to Quitting, the podcast. I have the Quitters Club, the community for people that are ready to quit the habits that aren't serving them. I have Quit Like a Champ coming out in April, which is going to be a 12-week program where we're going to work together to help you quit all those things on a fast track. And I love the idea of quitting, right? So Quit Like a Woman by Holly Whitaker. This is the only book that is specifically about alcohol. So if you aren't struggling with alcohol, don't worry, there's more to come about habits. But this is just still a very empowering book. And what I love about this book is all the raw facts and very blunt statements about alcohol, right? Here are 3 powerful quotes from this book that were just oh my gosh, this is so insane that we accept this in the world. So 1, the global wellness economy is estimated to be worth $4 trillion. We are on an endless and expensive quest for wellness and vitality and youth, and yet we drink effing rocket fuel. So the idea that we spend so much money on Botox, on vegan, on gluten-free, on wellness and trainings and coachings and personal trainers in yoga and Soul Cycle and I don't know what else. The wellness industry is a $4 trillion industry. And then we go home and drink a glass of wine. And it's how did we get so brainwashed? How do we get so gaslit about alcohol that this has become just totally acceptable, right? So that was really, really powerful to me to be okay, it's not crazy that we can't drink something that is rocket fuel, right? It's not crazy that we wouldn't want to drink this, right? Whether you have a drinking problem or not, maybe you're somebody that follows me because you're divorced, you're a single parent, or you're a parent that just feels overwhelmed and you're just trying to kind of get healthy or get organized or get level up. If you're drinking alcohol, you're drinking rocket fuel. And that's just the reality of it. And you don't have to have a problem with alcohol. You don't have to identify as an alcoholic to recognize that it is insane to to drug ourselves, right? We're drugging ourselves with alcohol. And I just really love this like blunt reminder that we're actually drinking something that is so incredibly unhealthy for us. And if you don't want to drink it, guess what? That makes you like actually probably more smart than crazy, right? But then the second quote in this book that I really loved was, alcohol is the only drug in the world where when you stop taking it, you are seen as having a disease. So the truth of the statement really helped take away the shame that I was feeling around alcoholism, because my inability to consume an addictive poison responsibly shouldn't be a direct reflection of me being something wrong with me, right? Like maybe we don't want to have to identify as an alcoholic. Maybe we just want to say like, hey, when I ingest just poison, it really messes with my body. Like, why do I have to have a disease? Why does it have to be that there's something wrong with me when I can't ingest poison? And we see this all the time with people after a certain amount of time of drinking that they decide they don't want to do it anymore, right? But like nobody in the world would tell me that there was something wrong with me if I was like, hey, you know what? I don't want to do cocaine anymore. I don't want to do meth anymore. I don't want to do these other addictive substances anymore. They would just be like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. But we don't get that same response when it comes to alcohol because of the way it's been marketed, the way it makes people make money off of it. But the reality is that it's okay to not want to drink it, and that there's nothing wrong with you if your body doesn't react well to it. The third statement or quote in this book that I really, really loved was, we go from being able to naturally act like kids to thinking the only time we get to access this state is when we're a few drinks in. And oh my gosh, this one spoke to me so much because I am huge on unlocking your true, unique, authentic energy. Like this I love it. I think that people shouldn't have to be who they don't want to be. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that I'm wearing sweats. I don't always have my hair done. If I want to do it, I want to do it, but I don't want to ever feel like I have to do it, right? Like I just want to be who I want to be. I want to be loud. I want to be crazy. I want to dance on coffee tables. I want to be silly. I want to be who I want to be and my true, authentic, unique energy. And it's crazy that we no longer get to just be when we become adults without feeling like we need a drink to do it. Like we almost become brainwashed that the only way to act like a kid is to be intoxicated. And I hate that for people. I hate that for people because since I've gotten sober, I laugh until I pee my pants. I am silly and crazy. I prank. I dance. I've figured out how to get back to that younger version of me that just wanted to have fun. And I strongly believe everybody can do that. Whether you're an alcoholic or identify as somebody that struggles with alcohol or not, every single person has been lied to by the alcohol industry, by alcohol itself, by it giving you a quicker fix to getting there, but you don't need it. You don't need it. You actually can have fun without it. And I challenge you to try. Like I challenge you to push yourself past being a little bit uncomfortable, to actually put yourself in positions where when you were a kid, you would have just danced. When you were a kid, you would have just laughed. You would have just had fun, right? Like, and it's 100% uncomfortable. It 100% takes time to retrain our brain, but it is possible. And so I love that she acknowledged that in this book, that it is possible to still act like a fun, silly, outgoing goofball, whether you have alcohol or not. Like almost now, one of my biggest compliments when I'm like at a wedding or something is people ask like, have you been drinking? It's like, no, this is just who I am. Isn't it fabulous? Like, why does it have to be that I've been drinking? And it doesn't offend me. It's like, oh, good. That means it looks like I'm having fun and I'm relaxed. Like the fact that somebody thinks that I'm under the influence right now means I look happy and I'm in a joyous state, and I did that without alcohol, and that is something that I love it so much and I'm so proud of. So that Quit Like a Woman is like definitely recommended. And if you guys aren't writing these down, don't worry. I'm going to put them in my weekly newsletter. So you'll just, at the end of this, you can click the link to get subscribed to my weekly newsletter, and I will put them out linked to Amazon so you can grab a copy of them yourself. But number 2 is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. So I love habits. I love habits. I love habits. I love habits. And I love that habits kind of help you. Again, same as like what I talked about in the one above, is like removing that shame, because you're like, oh, my body just has become addicted to this behavior or this system or this pattern. And this book I read right when I got sober. So it was really, really helpful in simplifying things for me. So I could remove some of that negative energy I was having around drinking. It broke down the science behind habits of drinking, and that it helped take away that guilt and shame that I was feeling. If you like science behind drinking, I really would strongly recommend listening to Sober Powered Podcast by my girl Jill. Jill is amazing. She has a sober community as well. And I'm so incredibly grateful for her. So like she might be a great place to go if you're trying to get sober, for her podcast and for her community. And just finding the best thing that fits for you is like the most important. But she's helped me get this podcast going, and I'm just crazy appreciative of her. And I love that she always is talking science. So she is a scientist. And so like as a scientist, she was just like fascinated by the fact that she wasn't able to drink alcohol, and has dedicated all of her time and work to talk about why that happens. And I just love this, because I think it helps people understand that like, hey, guess what? Our brains, this is how it's affecting our brains. This is how an alcoholic's brain can be a little bit different than normal person's brain. This is like why we do what we do. And I just think it's really, really powerful. So anyways, that's my shout out to Sober Powered Podcast and my girl Jill. Because she's going to give you a lot more of like the actual scientific basis of things. I'm more going to give you opinions and maybe some data and research, but I am not a scientist. I am an accountant. So, and actually I can't even give you accounting advice without having a scope of what's that called? I haven't been in an engagement letter. Anywho, back to what we're talking about today. Hi, this is Gentry. I might have ADHD. They've never officially diagnosed me, but I'm back. Okay, so some of my favorite quotes from The Power of Habit is 1. Rather to change a habit, you must keep an old cue and deliver the cue reward. Oh my gosh, I'm going to start that over. To change a habit, you must keep the old cue and deliver the old reward, but insert a new routine. So what I love about The Power of Habit is it talks about the habit loop. So the habit loop, if you're in one of my communities, you probably heard me talk about the habit loop before, because it's something that I like about talking about it. But you have the cue, you have the routine, and you have the reward. So something that's really, really powerful is that when we get in these bad habits, there's also this other factor of like the craving. And the craving is what gives us this idea that the routine is going to give us the reward, but we have to really unlock, like, is this the true reward, or is this like a perceived reward? Like if I want to get relaxation, if I want to get we'll just start with relaxation. If I want to get relaxation, and at that time when a cue happens, I drink alcohol, and then I get the relaxation, I don't have a long-term benefit of relaxation. I have a short-term gain. So you have to really understand what the reward is that you want to gain, and if you're truly gaining it with that routine. That really helped me like rewire how I was seeing things, and it helped me understand that my white knuckling approach wasn't working. Like I kept trying to like do the same things and then just hope that I would do something different, but I didn't actually implement new routines. I didn't implement new pathways. I didn't implement things to replace my behavior. I more was just like putting it on the same conveyor belt and like hoping that it wouldn't end up in the same train wreck that it was every single time I put it on that same conveyor belt. So learning how to switch things out for healthier routines was really, really important to me, and really, really helpful to me, without making me feel like there was something wrong with me that I wasn't able to like white knuckle it. Number 2, one of my favorite quotes from this book. I have 3 quotes for this book. This is how willpower becomes a habit: by choosing a certain behavior ahead of time and then following that routine when an inflection point arrives. What this basically is saying is that willpower is crap, that our decision making muscle is very weak a lot of the times, and the way we either strengthen our decision the way we strengthen a decision making muscle is to not activate it so often. So the more we can pre-plan our decisions, the more that we can set ourselves up for success before we're in that moment, the more that we're able to not be relying on willpower in those like intense moments, right? Like if I already decided that I'm going to have this type of beverage that's non-alcoholic when I get to this event, as soon as somebody asks, I'm going to respond in this way. I'm going to have this already on my hand. It takes away that that decision in the moment, right? So we can more we can take away those decisions in the moment, which is something I talk about in my community. It's something I talk about work with my clients, is that we want to try and pre-plan our life as much as possible so that we're not in decision fatigue when it comes down to really important things like this that are going to result in going back to a bad habit, right? Um Decision fatigue is like it is the if you're a parent and you struggle with decision fatigue, give me a hell yeah. Yeah, that's me all the time. It's so funny sometimes when they'll like ask me the simplest question too, and I just like have no capacity. Like at the end of the day, we're like, all right, time for bed, and they're like, are we going to the mall tomorrow? Or not even that. Like, oh, are those shoes in the door? Or I don't know why those shoes would be in the door. Anyways, they will ask me a super, super simple question. Or like, even like one I know the answer to, like, did you brush your teeth? And I'm like, I don't remember if I can't answer if I brush my teeth tonight. I just need you guys to go to bed because I'm super tired. But the more I have pre-planned in my life, the better I am. And this book helped me understand that. The third quote, there's nothing you can't do if you get the habits right. I love this. I love this so much. This was really empowering to me that anything is possible. Like even me with all that I have on my plate as a single mom, as an entrepreneur, as a table dancer. Well, table dancer sounds really bad. If you guys don't follow me on social media, know that I dance on my coffee table, fully clothed. It's not inappropriate, but if you follow me on social media, you know that I like to dance on my coffee table for fun. Make sure you're following me on social media at Life with Gentry. Anyways, but I have a lot going on, but I was trying to say with that, and with a little bit of strategy, a little bit of planning, and making sure I have the right habits in place, I can have it all. And I still believe that today. Like, I truly believe that I can have it all. I think that there's times that it's going to be more productive than others. I think there's times that I'm going to be more well-oiled machine than others. But I believe in habits, and I believe what they can give you, because I believe that when we work on these things and we work on and adjusting our mindset around our habits, like, ooh, which this is maybe a topic for another day, but identity-based habits, hello, high five to them. Like those are amazing, where we don't even now I just say I don't drink alcohol. It's not even a question of like, am I going to drink today? Am I not going to drink? Am I going to drink at that party? Am I not going to drink at that party? It's like, I don't drink alcohol. My identity is somebody that does not drink alcohol. So I don't even have to think about it twice, because my identity already tells me like, we don't even engage in that decision because we already are. Anyways, habits are amazing. I love habits. The next book is Atomic Habits by James Clear, another one that I love. And what I love about this one is it breaks down habits into small bite sizes. Bite sizes. Bite size. We're going to take the S off that. It breaks down. It's the breakdown of habits into bite size, there we go, changes, and how those small bite-sized changes is what will make lasting results. So I think that it can become very overwhelming to start changing your life. Like, yeah, it's a lot. And so when we start thinking, like, if we look at your life and all the things that need to be changed, it could feel extremely overwhelming. And this is a problem that I was having for 2 years, but like honestly, for 2 years while I was trying to get sober. I was trying to quit alcohol. I was trying to get my marriage back on track. I was trying to get my health back on track. I was trying to be more organized with my house. And I was trying to do all these things at the same time. And I just would get so overwhelmed, and then I would shut down and I end up drinking again. So I had to like really learn how to take smaller bite-size steps or like just bites as I went along on my journey, and be okay with getting better at something and then pivoting to get better at something else, and then pivoting at getting better at something else, which leads us to Addicted to Quitting, the podcast where we get addicted to the benefits of quitting habits that no longer serve us, where we every single day we just take bite-sized steps and baby steps to get better, and we become addicted to the benefits of continuously pivoting. Anyways, side note and little plug to my podcast that you're already listening to, which probably wasn't necessary, but here we are. Okay, 3 quotes for this book. Atomic Habits, James Clear. But quote number 1, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. So this one, I just really like this one. So this made me realize how simple yet how life-changing every decision that we make is. Like it's I just think of it as like a plot chart, right? Like each decision is either on like the positive side or it's on a negative side. And we just need to make sure that we have more growth, more health, more wealth, more organization, more structure. We just have to be like more positive, or it's going to be on the negative side, right? Like, and then where our growth is declining, our well-being is declining, right? So like, I just think like, even if I make a bad choice and it puts me down here, the sum, the average, at the end of the day, where's that landing? Like, am I at least getting to that 51%? Because if 51% means the majority rules, and if majority rules, then heck yes, I am doing better. Yay me! But and of course we want to be better than 51%, right? Every time we can be a little bit better than 51%. But if every single day you can average at least 1% better in the positive, you're growing. And that's all you can. I mean, you got to give yourself credit for the things that you're doing, right? So when you fall in love, this is quote number 2 from this book. When you fall in love with the process rather than the product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You can be satisfied anytime your system is running. I love this, and I talked about this in a boot camp that I have done, where we said that instead of finding joy in the journey, we need to find the journey in the joy. So the joy has to come first. We're not on a journey and we're going to find joy in it. We got to find peace and happiness and joy in our life before we're even on a journey. Like, because if you can have joy along the way, like if you already had it with you, there's nothing that's going to happen on that journey that's going to be able to take that away. So finding joy before you start and having faith in the process, and finding joy no matter where it stands. No matter if you're day 1, day 5, you hit a bump in the road, whatever it might be, if you find joy in it, you're going to continue to want to stay on that journey. Quote number 3, you don't have to be a victim of your environment. You can also be the architect of it. I am slightly ADHD, never officially diagnosed, but I still like to claim it. I also have anxiety. Creative thinker, left-handed, right-brained. I'm prefacing all of this to tell you that organization is not my strong suit. Like, it's just not where I excel. And I'm so proud of people that are like this, that can be super organized and amazing. It's just not me. And I used to just say that kind of like, that's not me. That's not how I roll. And then I saw this as like, you don't have to be a victim of your environment, because I realized how much stress my disorganization was causing me. Like how I was frustrated. I never could find anything. I was overwhelmed. I was blah, 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 blah. And I thought, how could I be more organized? And so this quote really helped me because it helped me take back over control of my circumstances and of my environment, and that I am the thermometer, not the thermostat. Wait, I'm not the thermostat. No, I am not the thermometer, but I am the thermostat. I'm going to get these motivational quotes down right here sooner or later. But I don't know if you guys have heard this, but the thermostat is on the wall, and you get to control that. You get to say like what the temperature is going to be. So I am never going to have like 100% perfectly organized house. Like, I'm a single mom with 4 kids, and I have a creative brain. I'm going to do my absolute best, because the best I can do is going to really help me with my organization. So I'm going to take as much. I like 85% of control of my house. but I'm the one that sets the tone. I'm the one that decides that I'm going to take 85% of control of this house and organization, and that's my decision. And a thermometer it is determined, or its temperature, its reading is based on its environment. So it's like, how can I set the tone for my environment that's going to help me grow, that's going to help my kids grow, that's going to be more organized, that's going to be more efficient, so that we can be better, that we can grow, that we can have things that without the stress, without the chaos. And so I really loved this idea of like, oh, I was kind of becoming a victim of my environment and saying like, oh, I just can't control this because that's not who I am, or because I have 4 kids, or because I'm I got distracted. I don't know how many times I've said, "Oh, I got distracted." Anyways, I just really, really like the idea of setting the tone of your environment. It's something that I talk about in my communities. It's my coaching. Is that organization is so incredibly powerful, and you don't have to be a natural born organizer to be able to get your house in order, and your calendar in order. All right, number 4. This is High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. I love Brendon Burchard. I want to speak on stage with him someday. That would be absolutely amazing. And Brendon, if you're out there, Brendon, find me. But there's a couple quotes that he had in his book. Again, another habits book. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. This is by Howard Thurman. Oh my gosh, I can't read. But I love this quote. Love this quote. Why? Because that is something that I really needed to accept when I got sober, is like, I really just need to be my true authentic self. And I think more people need to just be their true authentic self. And imagine if you were just your true authentic self, why in the world would you want to check out from that? You wouldn't want to drink alcohol, because it's so cool to just be like, I love who I am. I know who I am, and I appreciate who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. So why would I need to check out from who I am? I was drinking because I wanted to check out from who I am, because I didn't like that I was loud. I didn't like that I was crazy. I didn't like that I was silly. Like, I was afraid that that was going to be judged. I was afraid I wasn't going to be liked because of those things. And the real truth of the matter is that I am who I am. I am who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. And if I could just unlock that true potential in myself and be like, I am so proud of who I am, and now that I know who I am, I can like see what the world needs from me, and they need that example. They need that. They need somebody that just says like, hey, what if we're just a little bit quirky? Like, what if we're just a little bit classy and a little bit trashy? Like, what if you are who you are, and that's okay? Like, how can you become the best version of yourself in a service world, like, and help others with that true, unique, authentic energy? Like, how can you give that to other people? And you can't give it when you're building off of somebody else's dream. So I loved that he said, don't ask what the world needs. Instead, become alive, and then do the things that make you alive, because the world will respond to you. They need that. They need you. They need you. Number 5, The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. I think I said that name right. This one is actually my favorite book. And I listened to this book in my 20s. I was introduced to it at good old Applebee's, when I was at Applebee's OG, where my Applebee's employees at. I was the expo. I was the host, and then I was an expo, and then I was a waitress. Never a bartender. Never made it that far. I got knocked up and had to move back home. It talks about, though, in the 4 agreements, it talks about in this book 4 agreements to make with yourself to live a fulfilling life. So naturally, this book will get 4 favorite quotes, right? Because there's 4 agreements. Every other book we did 3 quotes. But these essentially are the 4 agreements. So listen to the book, read the book. It's an amazing book. But I'm going to give you a real quick snapshot of this entire book here in the next few minutes. Number 1, from my favorite book, first quote is, speak with integrity. So say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use your power of your word in the direction of truth and love. I am oh my gosh, this is one of my like biggest obsessions I say I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with everything. Okay, guys, I'm addicted to quitting. I'm addicted to being obsessed with things that are good for you. But I just don't like gossiping. Like I'm not going to say that I never gossip because I don't want to be a liar, because I want to have integrity with my word. But I'm very, very aware of not talking poorly about other people, and will catch myself if I'm in situations where gossiping might be happening, right? So like I try to remove myself from that quickly or shut it down. And I just am very, very passionate about speaking with integrity. Like say things from truth, say things from facts. Don't make assumptions, right? Like I'm going to speak with integrity about the situation based on the facts and based on a good intention, right? Like not just like facts, but like what is my intention with the words that I'm speaking? Like, is it not coming from a place of love? Is it not coming from a place of growth? Then it maybe doesn't need to be said. The second quote is, whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. This book actually helped me get through something this fall with somebody, which I'm not going to gossip about, and I'm not going to say that I took it personally, but I did take it personally at first. But we're not going to get into all of it. But this book was like so incredibly important when you're dealing with conflict. I would strongly recommend it if you're dealing with conflict. But anyways, not taking anything personally. So, as my dear friend Taylor says, because the player's gonna play, and the hater's gonna hate, baby. I'm just going to shake it off. Shake it off. I shake it off. I shake it off. Shake it off, guys. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. People are battling something you know nothing about. Their decision to respond the way they did, just don't take things personally, guys. Don't take things personally. That's all I could say. Okay, quote number 3. If others tell us something, we make assumptions. And if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate. Replace the need to communicate. Even if we hear something and we don't understand, we make assumptions about what it means and then believe the assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask the questions. I love this one because if we are going to speak with integrity with our word, we can't make assumptions and then be talking about the things that we're assuming, right? Like we far too often fill in the blanks with the assumptions, and to have that integrity, we have to be willing to ask the questions and not waste time on anything we don't have the full story on. Like we have to be willing, like if you want more information, ask the questions. If you don't want more information, then let it go. It's not your business. It's not your business to assume anything. It has nothing to do with you. We're not taking it personally, and we're not going to gossip about it, right? Like I love that all of these 4 agreements are like connected too, because like you can't make assumptions and speak integrity and take things personally. Like all of them kind of fold into each other. Number 4, humans punish themselves endlessly for not being what they believe they should be. They become very self-abusive, and they use other people to abuse themselves as well. So last but not least, the 4th agreement is always do your best. Always do your best. This is why I said it's not that I'm going to say I never gossip, because sometimes I can get caught up in it. And I shut it down. I try not to say anything. But here's the deal. We're all here just doing our freaking best. We're doing our best. So if you are showing up every single day and trying to become like your true authentic self, you're trying to figure out how you can use that true authentic self and that energy to give to the world, you're trying to get healthier, you're trying to have better communication, you're trying to not take things personally, you're trying to not make assumptions, you're trying to have integrity with your word. And guess what? You might not be doing it perfectly all the time, but you're willing to learn and accept that and humble yourself and apologize if you need to. And you're just going to keep going. Do your best every day and be at peace with that. Be at peace with that you are working on being your best every single day. So no more self-abuse. No more allowing your assumptions to abuse you as well, because sometimes we be like, oh, I'm sure so-and-so hates me because of X, Y, and Z, so now I'm going to abuse the fact that they hate me, when really they're so consumed with their own head, they don't even know what happened. But just a reminder that you are amazing, you are capable, These are 5 books. These are the 5 books that I absolutely loved reading when I got sober. They're also things that I have referred back to since getting sober almost 6 years ago. And as we wrap up this episode of Addicted to Quitting, remember that each step you take towards quitting a bad habit is a step closer to the life you deserve. If you find yourself stuck, struggling to overcome certain habits in your life, and you're ready to level up with these books, just simply click the link below and I will email you a link to all of these books. I can give you a hard copy and an Audible, and then you can get on your merry way to leveling up yourself with these amazing habit tricks. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Addicted to Quitting, where we level up by becoming addicted to the benefits of quitting habits that no longer serve us. Much love to all of you, my favorite quitters. This is Gentry signing off. Keep going and keep quitting too.